This is David. It's an end of the weekend Sunday quick hit. Hey, okay, let's go fast and cover some things that are going on. These are some things that have occurred over the past few days that have occurred this weekend. Dolores Catania is angry. Dolo is mad. Dolo's mad, guys. Um, Dolores Catania. So she's doing press. She's out there. She's doing press because of the traders. And of course, the only thing we want to talk to Dolores Catania about is RHONJ. Andy has made the comment that we are not even going to begin to think of RHONJ until 2026. Music to my ears. It is Christmas. It is Hanukkah. Christmas has come early. I am so okay with that. You know, Melissa did her interview recently and she said, how is that possible? No one's going to care about us in a year and a half. Yeah, I mean, no one is going to care. I mean, look, maybe it'll be nostalgic. I don't know. I'm not ready for this to come back yet. So I'm not upset with this. Seems from all of your comments on YouTube and on my Instagram and in my DMs, most of you are just fine with this as well. If anyone's doing the math, they started filming. And when you start filming is when you get your big check. You get the bonus for the reunion. They started filming last season around Christmas of 2023. So for everyone keeping track, that's all of 2024 without the big check, all of 2025 without the big check. And if we're going to start to think about this in 2026, that means we're going to have to hire, we're going to have to make decisions, we're going to have to film. I'm looking at 2.5 years, and I am being generous. This is 2.5 years since you got that big You Are a Housewife in your 8th season, 15th season, $2 million if you're Teresa. So people could spin this any way they want. The housewives can act like they don't care. It's a huge difference in money. I did a quick hit on Tuesday afternoon. I think personally, Dolores and Teresa are the two that will feel the financial burn the most. Dolores has Pauly. That's not really the same thing as standing on your own 2 feet. I think she's just fine as long as she has Pauly. I don't know if that's where we want to be as a modern woman in her 50s in 2025, so I can understand. But I just think logistically, she's probably fine as she has Pauly. Teresa, unfortunately, doesn't have someone that she's dating that has money. It's all a sham. And so I think Teresa is going to be the most in trouble financially eventually, and I think we're going to see that over the next year. Not that I'm wishing that upon her. We're just here to report the news, and I don't know if Dolo is in such a great situation either. So Dolores has been speaking out, and Dolores Catania is mad. So she sat down for the interview. RHONJ came up, and what she said, let's pull up what she said because here we are. They started asking her about RHONJ, and the subject quickly turned to her castmates. And I want to get you sometimes I don't care about exact quotes, and I just kind of paraphrase. I really want to get into Dolores's quote because we all know Dolores does not mince her words at all. She says, we didn't film last season, so we're not coming back. Okay, of course. We're not going to be airing January or February like they usually do. Of course you're not. She then blames her castmates. So it's not just that she's mad. She's mad at her castmates. She's mad at Teresa. She's mad at Melissa. She said, of course, I look forward to seeing my cast come back on the screen or even come back to film, but they made a mess. I'm a little mad that everybody couldn't get it together. I really am. Dolores is mad. She's not mincing her words here. She then lets us know, which I didn't know this. Does anyone know this? On the way to the finale, she spoke to a therapist and asked her for some tips going in on how to speak to the women. She wrote it down in the car ride on the way there, and no matter what I did on and off camera, nothing helped. I believe this. And actually, smart woman. I mean, Dolores saw the writing on the wall. Hey, it's really going to be over for all of us. She went on, you could see I was defeated. I sat there and I knew you wouldn't be seeing us for a while. I saw it coming. Smart. We fucking lost something along the way. I'm looking at Salt Lake. I'm looking at Beverly Hills. They fight, but they don't go for the jugular. They're not hitting below the belt. They agree to disagree and move on. That is correct. Beverly Hills does Housewives correct. Salt Lake does Housewives correct. When asked if she thinks the show might get all fresh faces, of course she says the same thing Melissa says. I feel like we're an ensemble and I can't see anyone else but the people that I was on with. It's a family. Can you see yourself with other people? I mean, of course, Dolores, Teresa, Margaret, Jennifer Aiden, who is not coming back, they're all going to put out the narrative that, and I don't know for sure that Jennifer Aiden is not coming back, but does anyone think she's coming back? Some people I think do. Maybe I'm wrong. What the hell do I know? But I mean, come on. So, of course, they're all going to do interviews and say that they could all see each other, that they can't see fresh faces. Of course, they're going to say that. Dolores says, we traveled the world together. We cried together. We fought together. You have to move on. Otherwise, you have no one in your life. That's not really true. I've had falling outs with plenty of public people that you guys love to name. I haven't had one falling out with a real friend. So that's a really sad statement, Dolo. I mean, I assume you mean in the bigger picture that, like, if you don't move on with people, you have no one in your life. I hope you don't mean with this group of people, sweetie, because I don't know who in this group is Dolores's real friend. Please don't say fucking Teresa. Teresa doesn't give a shit about Dolores. Give me a break. God, I'm coming in hot. Guys, I really have a thing where I want to be calm and nice and sweet and just respectful in the new year, but it's not the new year yet. But give me a break. So I hope you're not talking about your castmates because I really don't know who's your fucking friend on this cast. Margaret and Melissa are pretty close. Dolores and Aiden and Teresa are pretty close. But come on, girl. I mean, Teresa ain't your friend. Maybe Marge is not a good friend to you. Do you say the do? She thinks so. Do you think a full cast? She doesn't think she's basically saying, like, I don't think a full cast works. And she was asked if she thinks the cast can make things worse if they make things work if they were asked back. Of course, Dolores says, I know I would. I think given some time for things to cool down, maybe they would try to do that too. It's time to put egos aside. You don't throw something like this away. We had great ratings. I agree with everything Dolores is saying. That time should heal. You don't throw something like this away. I agree. We had great ratings. I agree. We did well. We just have to learn how to act. This is what life is. It's about fighting and making up. I agree with everything Dolores is saying. I mean, Teresa wouldn't film that commercial with Melissa, so I don't know. Maybe a year from now, when Teresa is feeling the noose around her neck because she needs the money because the guy she's with have all these sham businesses and there's no real money coming in. I don't know if we'll ever get there. I think he'll pretend that there's money coming in and they'll live on borrowed credit, just like lots of other housewives. And then one day the IRS will come knocking, or whoever. I don't know who it is. I don't know if the IRS is looking for any of them, but it ain't right. And there ain't real money there. That's what I smell. And that's my opinion. And I'm going to stick with it. So maybe Dolores is right and they'll come around. I've heard from very reliable sources that there is no way they are bringing Melissa and Teresa back together. But a year from now, I don't know. Maybe they will be desperate enough, and especially Teresa, to film. Maybe that's the answer.